Okay, so we are going to put together something called a rubber handle sleeve. This is sort of like the plastic or rubber part that is on a bicycle handle that you put your hand around so you're not grabbing the metal. This is just a sleeve that goes over the metal that helps us get a grip and be able to use it as a lever. So we're going to create this using a function called revolve. Most students, when they look at this piece, they think, oh, all I got to do is make a bunch of circles and extrude the circles. It can work that way. I'm going to show you where the revolve can make it a little bit easier, and we can learn a little bit about some of these tools and make sure that we understand what's going on with it. All right, so we're going to create this funky looking thing here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a construction line. I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to create this L shape. And if you look here, that's this L shape right here, this L right here. So we can be able to create the hole and create this little hole on the back side. So we have both those that are there. It doesn't quite give us all the dimensions. It's asking us to fill these in. So as we're working on this, we'll look at the numbers and figure out what it is that we want to have here. So we're going to go to Inventor. First thing I do is just going to draw a construction line, and then I'm going to draw a line on the bottom that's 4.469 inches long. So make sure that we have that there. So under a new part, and wait for that to pop up here, which shouldn't be too long. All right, so under Start 2D Sketch, we're just going to pick the XY plane again. And I'm going to take and create a line, but over here this one is called the construction line, so I'm going to make sure that that line is on, and I'm just going to create a line here. Doesn't make a difference how long, but I just want to make sure that we have something there. Make sure it's at 0 degrees, so it's flat. You can see how it's a dotted line. So I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to shut off construction to make sure that the next thing I do draw is an actual line. So now I'm going to go to line, and I said that that line was 4.469 inches long. So I'll type in 4.469, and I've got that line that's right there. So I'm going to hit escape because I need to find out exactly some distances and how far apart I want these pieces to be. So if I go to my directions here, I need this distance from this long line that I just drew to my construction line. It's asking me for this amount right here. So it's this number here, but this says diameter. So 1.375. It says OD for outside diameter. So that means that this number isn't a diameter, this number is a radius. So we could do the math to figure it out, or we can let Inventor do that for us. So it's 1.375. So I'm going to do a dimension. I'm going to hit that line to that line. I'm going to drag out, and I'm just going to make sure it's outside the piece, so I'm not dealing with that. But we said it was 1.375, but that was the diameter, so I want a radius, so I'm just going to divide it by 2. And it's going to give me my correct distance there. I don't have to do the math. Okay, now from here, I'm going to draw this line going up, and it gives us this dimension. It's asking us for us to find that dimension. Well, this is showing us the thickness of this L shape. And if you're looking here, the thickness along this edge looks like it is 0.25. So we're going to go up 0.25 here. Line tool. Find the end of that and go up 0.25. We're going to go over a certain amount. I am not sure of that amount yet, but I can just click and then we'll go back in and look in our directions and see how far we want that to be. So from here to here, I really don't know what that is offhand. We could do the math, but I think we can figure this out. We do know that we can draw this line up, and it's asking how far this line is from this construction line. So if we go look up here, This is where this little small circle here is at the end for airflow. It's 0.1875. So I know that the top of this thing is supposed to be a radius or half of 0.1875 because that's a diameter that it's showing us there. So we're going to do this. We're going to come back to our beginning here. We're going to use our line tool. We're going to come up just a little ways. I'm going to hit escape, and now I can dimension from that construction line to the top of that line. That is supposed to be 0.1875, but remember that was a diameter, so I got to divide that by 2 to make that a radius, and that gives me the correct spot there. So if I go back to here, it says I'm going to go across 0.156. You can see that that's the width of the end of that piece. 0.156 is there. So line tool, I know I'm going to go across 0.156. And now if I use my line tool, I should be able to come down until it matches, and it's not, oh, it does show me right there. It showed me that those lines are connected. So I'm going to click here. I can see that by that dotted line that's showing that. And then I can just connect this back to where it's at. And I have now created this piece. So if I look at my dimensions just to make sure I have this right, I've created the L. All my dimensions are there. I should be okay here. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to finish my sketch, and instead of extruding, I'm going to pick revolve. If I pick revolve, it highlights what it thinks I want to revolve, and it has that correct. So it's asking me, it's in blue here, it's highlighted, it says the word axis. It's asking, what do you want to revolve that about? Well, I could revolve it about any of these lines that I want, but the line I want to revolve it around is this construction line that I made. So I click there, and I click OK, and it shows me that I have my rubber handle sleeve that's here. Now, this is still sort of squarish looking. I think that there's a couple other directions here. It tells us that it has a round of a radius of 0.25. So that means it looks like we have 0.25, and it says typical TYP, which means that if you see it anywhere, it means it's the same unless it's been dimensioned differently. So we have a fillet or a round of 0.25 here and another one here on the other side. So we can go up here to our fillet tool. I'm going to click here and here to show both of them. And just to double check the dimensions, I'm pretty sure the dimension said 0.25. It does say 0.25, so we'll change the 0.125 to be 0.25. And we'll click OK or hit enter. And now we have that rubber handle sleeve. So we can go up under generic, create the rubber part, and make sure that it's black because that's the color it's supposed to be, which is what we want. And we now have our piece here. So this is where you want to save your work. Make sure you take a snippet of your work and your browser over here. You'll also want to show, and we'll show you how to put in your surface area, volume, and density to make sure that you have it built correctly. Good luck.